recording. Are you still recording, I take it?
Ready to vote then, right?
Who are we waiting on?
That's my vote. Do we want to say something, or is it like we're just voting?
We're still waiting on one more.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. One, two, three. Yeah.
Yeah, I think how it works is like once we get everybody here, then whoever has a proposal will get 5 minutes and we'll all talk. And then we can, you know, have questions back and forth for who has a proposal and then come to consensus towards the end.
Sounds good. It's like most of you guys is from US. It's just Alexander, so Ukraine. I'm from UK.
Yeah, I'm from the US. I think Aaron's from Canada, right?
No, I'm actually from the US, but Grandmass
okay.
is Canadian corporation.
I got you. Where are you located?
Me?
Yeah, what city?
I'm in a small city outside of Detroit right now.
Oh,
so
nice.
pretty close to Adam. About an hour away.
Yeah, I'm in Detroit.
Nice.
I think.
Oh, we got everybody now.
Yep.
Just Alexander doesn't have. Yeah.
Hello.
Oh,
I haven't yellow board for enter election password. What is the problem, maybe?
You don't have the password. You can. I think you can still do. There should be a forgot password, and then it allows you to recreate the password.
I have election password, but I haven't in my back office EdenOnEOS yellow. My English not perfectly. Excuse me.
It's okay.
Yes.
Well, I think if he's here, then something's going right.
I think it's okay. I think.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I think it's okay.
Can
Yeah.
you vote? You see in the election website, can you see that you can actually select a person and vote? I mean, don't do it yet, but is it allows you to do that? Is it like highlights when you hover over it? I just trying to understand where he is actually with it.
Well, I'm looking at the page now and it says votes received 1 for Alexander. So I don't know if he accidentally voted for himself or what. Or now it says vote 1 received for Marcin.
Yeah.
So something seems to be working.
Yeah.
Do you have such problems as me? You haven't yellow strip for election password. Please write in chat what I must do. I have election password, but no, not place for enter this password.
Okay. But you joined the meeting, so you in the same you're in the same position as we are, I would say. So I don't think you have to worry about that.
Actual meeting, yes. Now I in this I see our 5 person. 5 person, and it's our group for election. Yes, I correctly understood.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, we see the same thing, I think. And then you can, it says submit vote, yeah? You see
Yes,
blue.
I can submit. Yes, I can submit my vote. I haven't yellow stripe in my.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine, I think.
All right. Yeah, then we should be good. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and have people present. And if you have a proposal, raise your hand so we know who we have, and then we can decide who wants to go. Okay, so we've got me and Aaron with the proposal. Adam, you have a proposal too? Anybody else?
No, I don't have a proposal.
Okay. So I say, yeah, let's just go one at a time, and then anybody can bounce questions back. So who would like to go first? It's either Adam or Aaron, or me. Does anybody have a desire to go first?
I guess I'll
Adam.
go first.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so if I was, if I was given some sort of budget, I think what I would use it on would be to build out the developer pipeline. Because one thing that, when you look at EOS and EOS IO chains in general compared to something like Ethereum, our developer ecosystem has always been, not as strong, whether it's because the documentation isn't as good. We just don't have as many people in our community. So really trying to incentivize either Ethereum devs to make the jump, or just creating new homegrown devs from maybe even trying to look at reaching out to recent college grads, right? And one way we could do this is partnering with like coding bootcamp providers to actually have an instructed like course. I know we have like the online one, but typically a lot of people prefer to have some sort of guided instruction in doing so. This could also be an opportunity, especially since most of these types of courses have changed to being like virtual instead of like in the actual classroom. We could get other members of the EOS and Eden community involved to actually teach these courses, and have those funds go to them so that they stay within the community.
Okay. You think we should do questions now, or should we do all the proposals and then come back for questions? Okay, well, I have a question real quick, and then I guess we can ask more later. So like for the developer tools, what about like what EOS has been doing with their, I guess, I don't know if it's called like the developer portal, or they have like these free classes on EOS. So how does this compare to that and augment that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you were to do a course, typically they end up being like 6 to 12 weeks, depending on the subject matter. I would think that those, that like certificate program that already exists would be supplemental in the sense that it could be like homework, or even the assignments. I think, when you look at developers, especially developers on the newer end, they need some self-guided instruction. And so, you'd have people actually teaching the class. A lot of times they actually have to build projects at the end of it as a final project. So we would use that certificate program, that online course, as like a supplemental, like homework thing almost.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas on what technologies would be used exactly, or who would be doing these things?
Yeah, so I would want to recruit like actual community members, whether they're from other BPs, to teach these courses, and use those funds to actually pay them to teach the courses in the free time. So I don't have anybody specifically, if that makes sense. There'd be time on my end to actually find those people to do it.
Okay. Anybody else have a question, or do you want to move on? Next presentation, and then we can circle back and ask questions if we think. So Aaron, would you like to promote next? I don't think anybody
Sure.
has any more questions. Okay, cool.
Sure. Well, my focus right now and what I'd be dedicating funding towards is onboarding solutions. Just yesterday, we've launched a portion, like the first prototype of our new account creation system. Allows people to create EOS accounts using credit cards. We'd like to really expand that. We'd like to make it so that there are crypto options as well. I mean, it only makes sense that you'd be able to use EOS to create an EOS account. It's just more effort. And we also really want to expand this system outside so that way any EOS application can allow account creation. So think of it like, think about the Eden member portal. Imagine if you could create an EOS account there with credit card, crypto payments, something like that. Or you could create an account for someone and then, you know, give them the link all within this, within the member portal itself. The vision we have is that we want to be able to do this from any EOS-based application. Eden just turns out to be a pretty good example because we're here because of that for right now. So that's our pitch right now. We've created like the bare bones, the foundations of this account creation system, and we would like to use that funding, maybe not only for our initiative, if we can find other onboarding solutions that are surfacing out of this process, some could go to that as well. But right now, the only one I'm aware of is what we just launched yesterday, and we'd want to use that to expand upon that and make it so that you don't have to come to us specifically to do that, but you could do that anywhere. So that's kind of our current pitch.
Can you drop a link to that in
Sure.
the chat? Thanks.
Just have a question about that. So what about like onboarding new people? Like if you're able to create an account, I mean, at the moment we have to have like a chain, right? So from one account has to create another.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So would it be just like I don't know, like a DApp sort of that will be just creating those accounts in a way, or is it like how you...
Right now it's our service creating the account.
Yeah.
And to begin with, I think we would expand our service so that way it's available for anyone to utilize, like we're doing on this create.anchor.link domain right now. Right now you have to go to that website, and the idea is we want to make that available on other websites using our service still. But there are some rough prototypes of being able to do like peer-to-peer account creation. Like if I didn't have an account, but you did, we'd be able to go through a flow using the same protocols that I could generate my keys and create like what I would like my account name to be, and then give you a link. And then you would be able to use that link, and it would ask you to sign a transaction to create that account. So, and that could be done without a service like we provide. It would be directly peer-to-peer using the blockchain. So right now we went this route first, where we're acting as the provider because we know there are going to be people that want to join that don't know anybody else with an account. So we wanted them to have like us as a party that could do that for you in a trustless way.
I have a question. So, you know, when I look at this model, I think it's incredibly valuable, and I think it's something that we need, but I'm immediately thinking about like Wax and the whole like custodial wallet sort of side of this, where Wax is basically giving people a free account. Now, I know that EOS accounts are more expensive and things like that. So are there any plans perhaps in the future to offer maybe, I don't know, scholarships or some sort of, you know, fund that we use to basically onboard people and not only create their accounts, but pay for it as well?
Potentially. That's kind of out of the scope of what we're pitching, but I think that the way that we have this set up, there are opportunities to explore there. One of them being that this system, we could potentially facilitate the free accounts should the free accounts be funded somehow. The network itself isn't going to pay for it, and we can't do it. If I'm being honest, we don't have that kind of funding. But if like somebody won an Eden election and was like, I'm going to give away 1,000 accounts, this platform that we're working on could help facilitate giving away those 1,000 accounts.
Okay.
So,
I have a question too. So you mentioned like the ability for anybody to do it on their website. Like, how would you envision this working with something? And this kind of feeds into Douglas's question too. How would you kind of envision that working with, like, let's say a SaaS platform that like we create on our end? How would there be a way for us as the SaaS platform to pay for that account easily?
Yeah.
Throughout the flow. And then let's say also, you know, they're paying for our subscription at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. The way that this process works that we've set up right now is there's a code at the end. It is, you know, it's a string of random numbers and letters. It's kind of gibberish if you look at it. But that code, we could generate like 1,000 of them for your SaaS platform. And then during your sign up process, like during the flow, when you hit the point where you want to give them an account, you use one of those codes and you give it to the user. You like assign it to them. And then they can go through the flow of creating the account using Anchor right now, because that's the only thing that supports this, but potentially other wallets in the future. Like maybe they want to use a ledger directly, or they're using Token Pocket or Wombat or whatever. So definitely want to open that up so that way there are possibilities for other platforms to kind of seamlessly do this without looking like it's, you know, sending you off to this website to go create your account before you can continue signing up for us or for your SaaS.
Just one more question.
Sure.
From a user like a friendliness point of view, I would say. So when, let's say, account is created, it's kind of like it still needs. I mean, maybe I'm a bit too not like with the latest way EOS works. Like so, if the account is created, would it be something like it also comes with some kind of level of resources at the same time, so the users have that like really good experience, or this fresh sort of users have very good experience with the EOS at the beginning.
Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of trying to encourage.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea, and we have that in a limited fashion right now. You know, Anchor does provide free resources for users. We actually provide a little bit more free resources if they create an account through our platform. But in the future, and again, this is kind of out of the scope of what we're talking about today, we would like to be able to provide further resources. Like maybe instead of, like right now, I think it's $2 to create an account, but maybe we offer one for $5 that gives you even more resources, or there's some sort of like, here, pay $3 a month and never think about resources again. Those are all ideas we've talked about, but with our team being so small, we haven't been able to execute on any of it yet. So we do have a little bit of free resources we do give away though. So but yeah, that first time experience is really important.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
For sure. Okay, any other questions for Aaron, or else I can go ahead and present, and then we'll have time to talk about everybody's presentations after that.
Present away.
All right. So what I'm here to promote, not only propose, but also just to share with the community, because this proposal is ongoing, and the proposal is Meta Eden. And let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Okay. Oh, host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Let me give that to you.
Okay.
Or I'll make you host, or Aaron might actually have to do that now because I made him host.
All right, so I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing already. So what my proposal from the first election was, it was called the Smart Start proposal. And the idea was to create a repo called Meta Eden. And this repo houses ideas, which we call seeds. And then these idea seeds can grow into proposals or other types of modus operandi for Eden as well as EOS. So these are things like ways to improve the onboarding process, ways to increase membership, marketing and outreach, and okay, let me share here. All right, so we're right here. Marketing and outreach, how to fund Eden operation, dispute resolution, bylaws, proposals. And then for EOS so far, the categories are adoption and expansion, inflationary and deflationary models, infrastructure, developer tools, marketing, and outreach. So the idea here is if you come up with an idea, you fill out this template and you name the idea and you say, okay, you know, this has to do with this. And here are the actionable steps, which is the key here because we all have a lot of good ideas, but sometimes people don't have actionable steps to bring it into being. So this is, you know, following in Dan's book, this is like the opposite of intellectual property, where we're taking ideas which we think can help Eden and also sharing them in a wider sense with any sort of future Eden, any sort of project which may be along the same speed, trying to connect people, trying to grow governance and things like that. So yeah, this is not just for Eden, and it's also, you know, it's also not just for governance because these ideas, if we share any idea that's relevant here, for example, you know, inflationary and deflationary models, and we come up with a good idea, we write it in a way that it doesn't get lost in the Telegram chats. Then perhaps, you know, 10 years later, somebody creating a blockchain system can find this and build off of it. So yeah, that's the general idea is we're asking for funding for this to incentivize contributions, right? So my plan was if I did win this round, like I wasn't going to run for any other things, but basically like any money that I get for this, I'm putting 100% towards incentivizing contributors to share their ideas. And so far we've only had like one person try to contribute, and I denied their pull request because their idea wasn't well formed enough. So yeah, like I'm here just as much to promote this as I am to get any funding. So if you have some ideas and you don't want to see them get lost in Telegram or wherever, please do put them here, and it's going to release them under an MIT license so other people can build off of them and grow. So yeah, in summary, this is my little my little gift to Eden, where we can hopefully eventually put some of our best ideas, and once they're here, then we have all of the tools of GitHub. We can open up issues. We can send pull requests to improve our own ideas, to improve other people's ideas. And, you know, hopefully we'll create a system that's less run by a few good technical people who are sort of in the crowd, and a little bit more decentralized, where somebody who may not be well known in EOS or maybe coming over from another community has the opportunity to create an idea that is lasting and that other people can find. So that's it.
Have you seen the EAPS process that, and compared to that at all? EEP, the EOS enhancement proposals?
Okay, yeah, that's similar to the like the EIP and Ethereum, right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's
this is not for code related things. Yeah, I didn't really make that clear, but so this is more of like a social science thing, whereas I imagine that EEP is some sort of technical proposal. Is that correct?
To a degree, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that it necessarily has to be, but it's about establishing ideas and standards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's definitely good. And you could think of Meta Eden as sort of like the soft side of that. You know, I'm somebody who I enjoy to design social systems. And whenever I found Eden, like I was, you know, a little bit skeptical because I have my own ideas. But in using it, I found, you know, I really love the election process. So I'd like to, you know, sort of try to avoid the ideological assumptions inherent in a one thought leader system. And what I mean by that is like, we have Dan Larimer's ideas and they're guiding us, but also we risk the trap of falling into just those ideas. So aside from the technical aspect of how to run EOS and things like that, we're starting to develop a social system, and the social system has these constructs. For example, how long we all talk in these meetings. I'm probably talking too long. You know, there's no sort of enforcement of these things. There's no sort of, you know, written down things for a lot of aspects, not everything, but that's sort of the goal. As opposed to improving the system, we're hopefully improving how we get together and talk and, you know, do things like that.
Have you given any thought on how you would decentralize this? I mean, a GitHub repository inherently is not decentralized.
It's very centralized in the fact that, well, we have an elder system, and I didn't talk about it because we haven't implemented it yet. But the idea is like, if you have a year in the EOS community, you know, you're a member and you're part of a technical project, you can apply to be a elder. But yeah, so this is not decentralized. And, you know, one thing, if you study sort of how people collaborate, there's a system where one person is in charge. There's a system where you try to get consensus in everybody. And there's a system where you have like a group of elders, right? So if your goal is true consensus, we often have issues, which is why Dan Larimer is, you know, trying to drum up support to get more people to come. Because people are people, and it's nearly impossible to get an entire group to accept consensus. So our sort of one step into decentralization of this is at least offering people the ability to become an elder. And the idea, you know, the reason that we don't have true decentralization and probably never will is because when you have these ideas, which are, they need to be well organized, and they also need to be a little bit curated. I think that it's best to choose a smaller group of people who do have the technical expertise and the technical knowledge to do this, right? So that's basically what we're doing here with Eden, is we're gonna pick somebody here who has the technical knowledge and expertise to represent us. Yeah, like we're definitely open to better ideas, like for sure, like open an issue on the repo, do a pull request to something, and we can make it better. Like, but right now we just need participation. We need people who are willing to take the 20, 30, 40 an hour to write their ideas down. So that's why we're incentivizing it. We have like 5 EOS prizes right now for contributors. And, you know, and I'm honestly going to vote for Aaron, but if in the future elections I do get some funding, then we would like to put it towards this, you know, so it's something that's going to keep going. And, you know, I want to share the idea because it's really important to me for us humans to come together and start to write down how we're coming together, and so we can see what works and collaborate.
Yeah, we did just get the 10-minute notice, so I figured I'd just acknowledge that in the recording. But no, I like where your head's at. I think there's more of that needed. It's a hard problem to solve, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of these things, we're doing a great job. It's just like we have to realize that there's always a million ways to do it. And I love Dan's ideas. I love the book, but I also find, for some of the reasons that I like it, I also am a little bit concerned that we get trapped in the ideology. So I think as long as we stay open and stay recording our ideas, recording what we do, we're in good shape.
Awesome. So we have 8 minutes left. Where do we go from here? Do we have any final discussions, thoughts?
I don't have any more questions. Nothing from me actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can, do we want to like say who we're going to vote for, or, yeah, I mean, I guess we don't really, does nobody has questions for anybody?
I can only say please don't vote for me because it's gonna be just a lost vote.
Well, I'm voting for Aaron because, you know, obviously, Aaron is doing such amazing things for the community, and I think that this piece of technology is going to help us out a lot. And I trust the Gray Mass team, and everything that you guys have done has been just so crucial for the community, as well as for my personal day-to-day using Anchor and things like that. So I vote for Aaron and Gray Mass.
Very appreciated. And just to kind of, I think I said this, but we really want to expand. I mean, that's kind of our whole drive here, is the magic that you've seen out of us so far is largely from 3 developers. And we're all just burning at both ends. So we're seeking ways to expand our team, and we really want to be able to do more without burning ourselves out. I'm surprised we haven't burnt out already.
Yeah, man. So if you get like a big chunk of funding, is that something that would allow you to bring on new members, or?
It'll contribute to it, yeah.
Okay.
We're starting to put some of our own money aside to be able to do it. And that's primarily, like, we're going to keep working on this. Even if we lose the selection, like, this is what we're passionate about, and this is what we want to do to help. But yeah, this will go to helping bring new people in. Sorry, I was just looking at chat.
Well, I guess actually, you know, in the last election, like we would say, you know, who we're voting for in the thing, but now we have the technology to just mark it on the thing. So I guess it's better to be secretive about who we're voting for. Although I don't know if that's the best thing for consensus, you know. So that's another weird question, is like, because if we don't talk about it and then we vote for just different people, then we're not going to have consensus. But if we sort of talk about it and like realize what people are doing, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, it's like what they've built is really cool. I really enjoyed the presentation they did, and like being able to see this in real time, watching the consensus of the group is really cool.
Yeah. It's grown a lot since the last election,
Yeah.
the pre-election there.
Interesting system. It's kind of like a new like technology allows us to build certain like a level of you know, group understanding, and then we kind of grow from that. It's quite interesting. And it's on the other side, it's like we're actually going from bottom up. So it's like a tribal sort of approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you have, but it's very on a very low level, right? So it still allows everyone to have a vote in a way, and then have that consensus on the lower levels to grow to the sort of allow the entire community later on to agree on that, whatever we want to achieve. So yeah, it's pretty interesting actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the thing that really sold me is like the voters become more and more educated, because I think that's a big problem in any system, is just voters who aren't even exposed to the information on both sides. So like now it's like we're electing Aaron, and Aaron's obviously very knowledgeable. So now like the entire next level is made up of people who are very knowledgeable, and then it allows you to sacrifice your own ego, your own like proposal, your own thing to do what is best for the community, because not only are you a chosen electorate, now you're in your peer group, right? So you have this sort of peer pressure, to do what's best for the community. And I think that's really cool. We have that as well.
Yeah. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I do really like the subjects both of these other presentations touched on are both very near and dear to me as well. Both developer onboarding and education, and just the collection of ideas and being able to come to consensus. Like those are two very important topics as well.
Yeah, I think Adam, one thing I wanted to say to you is like, I think that we EOS could do a little bit better job targeting JavaScript developers and sort of exposing the tools that are available for JavaScript developers, because there's a ton. And like I built a Wax app and I don't need to write smart contracts to do that. You can use EOS.js and these other NFT contracts already out there and build something without learning a new language.
Yeah. We've got
I
less
agree.
than 2 minutes left. Sorry to
Well,
interrupt.
we've already reached consensus. So
Yeah.
Aaron, you win. Yay.
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 No, and on the JavaScript front, like I almost ran on the idea of trying on educational materials on our new JavaScript library. We have essentially a replacement for EOS.js in the works.
Okay.
That's meant
I'm
to
listening.
be more powerful and offer some more options. So, but we decided onboarding was a little bit more important than.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah, that sounds super cool. Is that in your GitHub?
yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I can send you a link. Feel free to send me a message. There is no documentation, but I am happy to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, I think we're just gonna ride it out to the end.
Actually, going back to the train, Adam, you had this it's kind of like a proposal to have training materials as well, right? For people and how to kind of reach the people in a way that you tell them what blockchain really is, because a lot of people don't understand like what we're doing actually.
Yeah.
So that's I was actually thinking about that at some point. Maybe we can get together at some point later and discuss that, because that's really quite important topic as well at some point. So yeah, maybe later on we can have a chat.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to connect afterwards. And I dropped in chat for you, Douglas, as well, that there may be some ways to use existing front ends that people have developed and just kind of tweak them and that sort of thing. So, because I know the Telos community